Do you struggle with that feeling of what am I actually thankful for? What's actually coming to the table? You see, I want to talk today about something that's very anti-narcissistic, that doesn't match up with narcissists at all. And that's the concept of gratitude and the concept of joy. You see, as a narcissist, the majority of times they're only thinking about themselves, their ego, their image, control of other people, whatever it might be, but they're not really thinking of another person. It's all about themselves. And I think you already probably know an idea about narcissism, where a lot of times people think of it being very self-involved, very self-love oriented, of like how they're always loving on themselves, they're always doing things for themselves, but it's not actually self-love that's there. And a lot of times it's more toxic in nature of actual just self-infatuation, of the idea of being infatuated with the mask that the narcissist is creating. See, the narcissist loves having a mask, and they love being able to put that out in front of other people, saying and justifying to themselves that they're a good person, when in reality they're not, because of how they're lying or cheating or manipulating or whatever it might be. For me, like learning about narcissism and starting on that journey led me to a place where I had to come to the realization that it's not all about me. And that was a hard realization. And growing up, the joke was that the world revolved around me. And growing up, the idea was like, I'm the most humble person. Let me tell you how I attained it. All these different things were jokes that were in sometimes even the family household, of things that I put out there, or things that were put out there of saying like, hey, I'm a good person. This is who I am. This is what it is. But there was always a semblance of truth underneath that I was thinking, no, I actually am that great. I actually am that awesome person. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness, growth, healing, and change, to show people what narcissism is and to help them understand how to grow and change getting out of narcissistic abusive relationships. I do that daily by dropping nuggets of truth on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and then also do that with weekly lives on Wednesday nights and Thursday nights. Also do it inside the NARC app, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Community. Download the NARC app, be able to see what's actually going on there. And I wanted to be able to share just a little bit of my perspective and of my journey of some of that healing, some of that growth, some of that change. And some of it came down to the fact of, again, realizing I'm not all that. I think that's one of the hardest things for a narcissist to realize, is like to realize and say that something what we're doing is wrong, or something that we're doing is not perfect. Because I always wanted to convince myself, I always wanted to tell myself that I was a good person, that I was committed, that I was doing this, that I was doing this. And if you haven't, check out the videos on YouTube that I have called The Lies That I Believe. And there's 7 of them that I learned with going through the Wake Up Warrior Challenge and understanding more about myself that I hadn't seen before. And so like learning and trying to figure out, what am I? Like, what do I need to do? How do I need to work on this? And one of the things that's been impressed on me over a period of time, and honestly, I didn't think about doing a video on it because it just hasn't come top of mind. I was talking with someone today on a one-on-one across the globe and was talking to them about some of my change, some of the stuff that I'm working on. And he was asking me like, well, how does this work? How does this work? How do you do this? And I was like, a couple things that really help me as I'm growing and healing and changing is the idea of gratitude. The idea of taking the perspective and taking the thought and the focus off of me and putting it on something else. And so on a day-to-day basis, trying to see how can I be thankful for something else versus being thankful for me, and that like ego boost that I get of thinking how great I am, of thinking how awesome I am. How can I be thankful for other people? How can I be thankful for my wife? How can I be thankful for not just the simple things of what she does or how she helps or how she encourages, but be thankful for who she actually is? And be thankful for how strong she is. Be thankful for how resilient she is. Be thankful for the fact that she loves me and that she's willing to still stick around. Be thankful for so many different things in my life that oftentimes I shortchange that. And for me, like thinking through the aspect of like, how do I find that joy? How do I find that happiness seemed very elusive, seemed like something that I could never attain to, something that I could never figure out. I was always looking at the next relationship, the next thing, I was looking at that other couple in the corner that was like laughing and having a good time, and be like, how do I get that? Like, why can't I have that? Why can't I feel that way? Well, a big part of missing out on joy is missing out on the moments that are actually happening that I can be grateful for. My entire life, I grew up not thinking of gratitude, not being thankful for another person, just being thankful for what they do for me, what I could get out of them, how I could manipulate the situation to further my own needs, my own gain, my own pleasure, whatever it might be. But I was never grateful for another person, for like another thing, for another aspect of life, unless it came back directly to me. So having that mindset start to shift and start to change. I'm not saying it's like magically all gone. Like having that mindset start to shift and start to change of like trying to be intentional of thinking through how can I have gratitude on a day-to-day basis with my wife, with my daughter, with my friends, with family, with work, with whatever I'm going through. How can I work on bringing gratitude? Because I don't think you can really tap into joy unless you have gratitude. Like looking for joy, looking for that happiness in one sense is really hard to find if there's nothing to be grateful for. And then as a narcissist, that's how I went through life, with nothing to be grateful for, nothing to be thankful for, always looking at the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and not taking time to be in the moment and say like, wow, this is pretty amazing. Instead, I was trying to look at myself every single time and say, wow, I'm pretty amazing. But in reality, it doesn't bring any joy, doesn't bring any satisfaction. I wrote down something a while ago I wanted to share with you guys. And it's something that I wrote down that was influential in my journey and in my growth. And regardless of what faith you come from, all different types of faith, I think that gratitude leading to joy is huge and is a great thing for people to be able to take enjoyment of the moment, of what's actually coming and happening, and what's actually being there. And a lot of times people discount that. For me, if you don't know, I'm a Christian, and I don't believe that I've gone through all of this for no reason, but that God has me on a journey. And part of that journey was learning about gratitude. And so I wrote this down. I said, gratitude leading to joy, joy leading to love, love leading to no fear leading to trust, and trust leading giving it to God. See, for me, coming into realization of who I am and of what I struggle with, one of the biggest aspects that I have to fight with is that I'm not in control. Because I want to be in control of my life, of your life, of everyone's life. I want to be the master of everything. I want to be the God of my universe. Realizing that, understanding that, and thinking that means that if I'm going to live my life, there's no morals. There's nothing that holds me to anything. But understanding, hey, giving it to God and saying, hey, I want to live a life that's different. I want to live a life that's better. I want to live a life that's whole. Got me to a place I'm like, how the heck am I supposed to do that? Like, what actually does that mean? For me, it means that actual process of building gratitude in my life to create joy. Joy to create love. Love to create no fear. Now, when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about the aspect of perfect love casts out fear. So like, think of it this way. Like if you love someone so much that you're willing to jump out in front of a moving car to save them, in that moment, you didn't have any fear. At that moment, the courage to do that took over, that aspect of fear that would have paralyzed you to just stay there and let someone get run over. So that perfect love, in one sense, gets to a place where there's no fear. That person would jump out in front of a moving car to be able to save someone, even if it meant at the cost of their own life. But love leading to no fear leading to trust. That, hey, I can trust the path that I'm on. I can trust that God is working in my life. It's evident because of everything that's been happening over the past year, over the past 2 years, that's been transformational as I've continued on this journey. And then trust leading to giving it all to God. Some of this might resonate for you all, some of it might not, but it's part of my journey, and I wanted to be able to share. I wanted to be able to share that I think for a lot of people out there, gratitude is essential. When you think of probably the two biggest things, gratitude and being intentional. How am I being intentional in this moment, in this conversation with this person to bring gratitude, to bring joy, to add to it, to better my life, to better their life, to better the interaction, the conversation, the relationship, whatever it might be. So I'd like you to think of that. How can you do that today? How can you do that this week? How can you do that to intentionally bring gratitude, to produce joy in your life? on a day-to-day basis. Because a lot of people think, well, this is the circumstance I'm in. I can't be thankful. There's a lot you can be thankful for. Whether that's the country that you live in, whether that's the food that you have on the table, whether that's the people, the friends, the family that's around you, whether that's getting out of the relationship. Like, there's a lot of things that we can be thankful for. The problem is, how deep are we going to go to try to find those and try to see those on a day-to-day basis? If we don't look for them, we're going to miss them. If we're not intentional in the moment, it's not going to happen. Thanks so much.